Hi, I'm Fred Hayden from Nashua Outdoor Power Equipment. 2 locations, Nashua, New Hampshire and Amherst, New Hampshire on 101A. Whenever we start a saw at the shop or test saws out in the shop or send you out the door, we're always going to suggest that you put on, you buy a set of chaps or you have a set of chaps. All right, so chaps are always good when you're out in the field. Safety glasses a must, some sort of hearing protection. And then we have multiple different forms. We have, this is just a chip guard with earmuffs. This here is a helmet if you're going to be cutting limbs, anything above you. Chip guard, a neck protector here so the chips don't get down your back, and hearing protection. All right, there's plenty of other, gloves you can put on for safety, and anything you feel comfortable with, obviously. Pay attention to your operator's manual and your safety manual. Most of your saws are going to come with a safety manual now. Very good thing to read. Don't ignore it. So, we're going to take the saw down. We're going to fire this saw up. And we're going to show you that I'm going to flood the saw intentionally because that's the biggest complaint we have. New saw owners, they'll take the saw home. It'll start fine here, bring it home. They comprehend what we're saying in the store, but when they actually get into doing it, until you've done it a few times, you might not recognize the sound the saw is going to make. People are used to products actually starting and running on choke. A chainsaw, a trimmer, backpack blower, most of your 2-cycle products will not run on choke. They'll start and die. At that point, if we pull them again, every time we pull them, we're flooding them more and more. We're putting more fuel in, and it's going to be harder to start the saw. So, put this over here down on the floor. We recommend that, and the manufacturer recommends, that you should start your saw on the ground. That way you have a firm footing. It can't jump or kick and bite you. All right, I'm going to put my goggles on here and my hearing protection. Not that this is doing much good at my age. But, all right. So, from scratch, if the saw is in the off position, Husqvarna has a pretty neat feature. You just pull it out, it automatically takes it off of the stop position. We're going to push the compression release in, and we're going to prime the saw a few times. At that point, I'm going to put our heel on the saw or through the handle, whichever is easier for you, and give it a pull. All right? I'm actually going to take these off for demonstration purposes so I can hear you better while I'm talking to you. Right now, the saw has started on choke and it's died. So if I continue to pull this, which I'm going to do it first the proper way, and then we'll come back and I'll flood the saw. But right now, I should be taking the choke off. When I take the choke off, it's still going to leave it on high idle. So the saw will be on high idle and the chain will spin at a fast rate. That's one of the reasons why we want to start it on the floor. It's going to spin at that fast rate till you grab the throttle and release the high idle. So now we took the choke off. We're going to push the compression release again because every time it kicks, it's going to pop that compression release off. We'll put our heel back down on the saw. And that's it. All right, from that point, you can let it warm up for a minute, but then you're ready to cut some wood. All right, now we're going to do it the wrong way, just so you have an idea of what happens, the most common situation. So, we'll go back again. We will pull the choke out, the stop switch came off, we'll set the compression release, and we'll prime it a couple of times. Now, the saw is already warm. Every saw is different. Every saw acts different. Some of them like to be choked even though they were just running. Some of them will start off a choke. I'm purposely choking this one for demonstration purposes. So, there we go. All right, the saw now should be taken off a choke because it burped and it's ready to be started off a choke. However, if I don't recognize that sound, okay, I can pull and pull, and I've flooded this saw. All right. If you're not used to the saw, now we're going to play the chase game. We're going to take it off a choke, we're going to pull it 3 or 4 more times. It's not going to start, so we're going to put it back on choke, we're going to pull it a couple of times, and now we've got it all messed up. So the easiest thing to do, if you've pulled it 5, 6, 7, 10 times, you can let this saw sit all night, all week. It's not going to clear itself out. They won't, because the way a 2-cycle works is they have to work in a airtight situation. So there's no air going to get to the gas to evaporate it. So basically we have to clear it by pulling the choke out, pushing it back in. We don't need to prime it. We still want to put the compression release on. But now it's on high idle. We're going to pull it until we clear it and it'll start. Okay, so hopefully we recognize the difference between wanting to start on choke and taking the choke off. But basically, if you think you flooded your saw, take it off choke, keep the high idle on, and pull it until it pops or does something. In severe situations, you might have to replace a spark plug if it's flooded that much, but most of the time, this will do it.